Started. By the way, thanks for joining us. We got a lot of great things we want to talk about tonight, so we appreciate you joining us to share in the excitement and definitely sharing some of the awards and recognition that some of these young people have provided. But first, I'd like just basically, if I can, just do a little roll call. I want to recognize that Councilmember Tafoya, Councilmember Saxton, Councilmember Burrell, and Councilmember Paul are joining us tonight. We've excused Councilmember Yeoman. I want to have, if I can, just a little moment of silence, but let me preface that if I can. If you would keep Councilmember Yeoman in our prayers. Obviously, it's in need for some personal injuries she has. So if you'll take just a moment and join me in a moment of prayer, we appreciate that. Thank you. We would like now, if we can, we're honored to have the American Legion Post 139 joining us, and they're going to help us with the flag ceremony. So with that, I'll turn the time over to Richard, if you'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Will the audience please rise? Color guard. Attention. Present the colors. Hand salute. Color guard, post the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Color guard dismissed. Audience may be seated. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a couple of consent items, specifically looking for approval of the October 2nd, 2018 and the October 16th, 2018 Roy City Council minutes. Any comments, council, questions on those?
Make a motion, we approve the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
So sorry. There was one change that needed to be made. Steve Parkinson was not in attendance on the October 2nd. He made me aware of that, and I've adjusted them since. But
You made the adjustment? Thank you.
I make
Okay.
a motion to approve as amended.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Council, we do have one Resolution 1829 declaring November 20th, 2018 American Legion's Centennial Day. Let me just take a second, if I can. I want to share something with you, and then I've asked the American Legion, particularly Carrie, if she'll share her thoughts about the American Legion. But let me just share this thought with you in terms of the importance of the American Legion. First, the American Legion was chartered and incorporated by Congress in 1919 as a patriotic veteran organization devoted to mutual helpfulness. Incredible. The Legion evolved from a group of war-weary veterans in World War I to one of the most influential nonprofit groups in the United States. Membership swiftly grew to over 1 million, and local posts sprang up across the country. Today, membership stands over 2 million members in more than 13,000 posts worldwide. It is the nation's largest wartime veteran service organization, committed to mentoring youth and sponsoring wholesome programs in our community, advocating patriotism and honor, promoting strong national security, and continued devotion to our fellow service members and veterans. Over the years, the Legion has influenced considerably social change in America, won hundreds of benefits for veterans, and produced many important programs for our children and our youth. We are honored to have the American Legion Dolan Wetzler Post 139 in our community and with us tonight. So Carrie, if you'll take a few seconds and share some thoughts before we take action on this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Just a background on Dolan Wetzler and why we have our name. Dan Dolan was killed in action in the Iraqi War. His parents live here in Roy. Robin Wetzler was killed in action in Vietnam. When we started in Roy, then we went to Riverdale, and so we kept, Robin Wetzler was from Riverdale, so we kept the Riverdale, the Wetzler, and added Dan Dolan to that to be able to honor him in our post and unit name. Tonight we have Nathan King, a son of the American Legion. We had Richard Fisher and Art Thomason, who are both American Legion members. And then we will have a presentation of what's called the Military Child's Table. And it will be done by Izzy King and Alice King, who are both junior members of our American Legion Auxiliary, and their mom, Sarah King, who will be helping, and she's an auxiliary member, as am I. And we'd like the audience, you can stand if you want so that you can see. We will have Izzy King do the reading, and we will go from there.
We will begin our meeting today with a ceremony to honor our military child. Our United States military members answer to the call of service every day as they defend our freedom around the world. That service often comes at a great personal sacrifice, not only for the service member, but also for their family, their children. When an Air Force officer was asked what he needed in Iraq, he said, "Please don't send cookies, care packages, or socks. Just help take care of our children." Our country has always supported its military in times of war through community efforts. We have a great capacity to care for the home front. Now is the time for a new Victory Garden. In this garden, we can tend to the needs of the military child. Today, we would like to present to you the Military Child's Table setting, inspired by the POW MIA ceremony to honor the sacrifices and contributions of our military children. The potted flowering plant symbolizes that they may flower and flourish where they are planted. The hand spade recognizes that they may be transplanted to a new location at any place in the world at a moment's notice, where they become fully immersed in the culture, make new friends, and acclimate themselves to a new school. The birthday cake and unlit candles, the baseball glove and ball, and the ballet slippers represent the fact that sometimes special occasions are missed by one or both parents while serving their country. The family photo depicting a child or children with their uniformed parents represents the foundation of our country's strength. Families united in their commitment to national service and willing to make any sacrifice, both at home and abroad, to ensure that our flag continues to fly free. Please keep our military and their family in your thoughts.
Thank you. With that, Council, I ask for your sustaining vote, if you would, for Resolution 18-29 declaring November 20th, 2018 as the American Legion Centennial Day. Do I have? Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Councilmember Paul,
Aye.
Councilmember Saxton,
Aye.
Councilmember Tafoya,
Aye.
Councilmember Burrell,
Aye.
motion carries.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for the Legion for helping us understand the importance of the program that you provide. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, Resolution 1830. We'll ask Travis if you would like to honor us with some information about the Royse City Senior Pee Wee football team and the great accomplishment they've achieved this year.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It is. It's a great day, and I couldn't be more proud to introduce to you the first of these teams. Our senior Pee Wee football team, led by Zach Coulihan, had 26 kids, 6 full-time coaches, 1 student coach, and went 11-0 and won the mini bowl. This team, this is my 19th football season in Roy, and it's as good a football team as I've been a part of. Great kids, great character, great coaches, great parents who had a goal to begin this year. And their goal was to get better every day, to work with each other. And they wanted to get back and win a mini bowl. It was important to them. They started off as Mighty Mites and won a mini bowl, and then the next 2 years reached the mini bowl and weren't quite as successful. And it was important for them to finish this moment off together. In Weber County, we have junior high football, so a lot of these young men will separate for a couple of years and go play junior high football and then join back up and do some great things at the high school. So it was important for them to finish it, and they finished it with a bang. It was a wonderful game late in high school where they played really well. I would like each and every one of the players and coaches to stand up and come up here if they would for 1 second. Is that, yeah. First, let's do Coach Coulihan's team. Come on up. Be proud. Fellas, I know I speak on behalf of the mayor and the city council and the entire city, where we want to extend our gratitude for a job well done. When you went out every Saturday, you represented yourselves, your team, your parents, your coaches, and this community. And for 11 weeks, did it with honor and excellence that I think I speak for everybody, where we can't thank you enough. So on that note, I would like to ask the council to adopt Resolution 1830, honoring the Royse City Senior Pee Wee football team for their 2018 football accomplishments.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, this is roll call vote.
Councilmember Saxton,
Aye.
Councilmember Burrell,
Aye.
Councilmember Tafoya,
Aye.
Councilmember Paul,
Aye.
motion carries.
Wonderful.
Give him a hand. Absolutely. Fellas.
Hold on. Let me get my-
We'll get you a signed copy of the resolution. It's got your boys' name on it.
Hey, good job, guys.
Okay, well done.
Good job. Cool. You guys are good. You know? Good job. Good job, all of you. Good teamwork. There you go. Thanks, buddy. Thanks.
Hey, boys, you're in the front row, we scoot back.
Mayor and council, we're going to ask you to kind of pinch in together just a little bit.
Oh.
If you're in the front, if you'll kind of go down a don't have to go on your knees. Or you can. I'll make it work. You can on your knees.
Going to? Huh? I wish I had a.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, give him another hand. It's quite an accomplishment, and please give them one more hand because they're outstanding.
Hey, Coach Coulihan, can I do one thing real quick? I want the offensive line to get in your formation, quarterback under center, and I want the tailback behind it. I want the quarterback to call a play. Okay, get it? Offense, let's go. Okay, black, offense, go. Red 7. Okay, go. Call the play. Who calls the play? Where's the quarterback? Cole. Hey, call the play, Cole. Let's go. You got 5 seconds left. You're down by 5. Call a play that's going to win it.
Did your picture work?
Hurry before the delay game. It's coming.
Play clock's ticking.
What do we call it? Hey, look at that. That's a picture right there. Oh!
Best formation in football, the victory formation.
Hey, I'll make one comment. I had the opportunity of driving these players to the Mini Bowl, and to see them being pumped up and ready to play was an awesome experience. Thank you for allowing me to be part of that.
Mr. Mayor, before we get to our next team, I would feel ashamed if I didn't ask Jody and Lizzie to come out here for a second. I can't begin to express my gratitude. They don't know I'm doing this for all their efforts they put in for football, for all our sports. It's not just that, but it's long hours at work. It's long hours every Saturday. It's phone calls, and they always do outstanding. And I'm so happy for both of them that they get an opportunity to share in a mini bowl type moment, because it's great. I mean, we're in there cheering for them and things like that. So I wanted to say publicly how fortunate we are to have these two running our recreation department, and they do a wonderful job. Audience, please join me in giving them a round of applause.
Well said, Travis, well said.
Let's do this one a little different. Can I have Coach James Dixon and his entire team and coaching staff come up here? Start thinking of your play right now.
Yep. Offense, get your play ready, offense. Red 7. Red 7. Blue 32. Blue 32.
This is a great moment. Let's get everyone to see. This is the other end of the spectrum a little bit. This is Coach James Dixon's team. And the reason I say the other end of the spectrum is they're our youngest group of football players. Well, they're not our youngest. They're our youngest eligible to go to playoffs. And they are a remarkable team and remarkable young man. I mentioned earlier that this was my 19th football season. I have never seen a team show the kind of in-game character that I've seen these young men show. Typically in Little League football, if a team gets down 2 scores in a football game, it's very hard for them to come back. It's mentally real difficult. I watched this team several times throughout the year get down multiple scores, and the coaches and kids and parents encouraging them on abilities to refocus and get their minds right to go win a football game is as good as I've seen in my time here. And fellas, that's something that can carry you on on for life. I think that's a wonderful trait. I look forward to seeing each of you progress in your football careers. I look forward to seeing what kind of human beings you guys and young adults you turn into in life, because from what I've seen from afar, the character has been outstanding. There's 19 kids on this team, 5 coaches. They went 10-1 and were by far the best team in this league at the end of the year. And that's a credit to their work ethic and character, and they set a common goal, and they made Royse City very proud. You know, all 11 weeks, even when they lost, they made us extremely proud because of the character of which they did it at, and their ability to learn from that defeat and have it carry on to the success that they had for the remainder of the year. So on that note, I would like to ask for the council's blessing in Resolution 1831, honoring the Royse City Mighty Might football team for their 2018 football achievements.
Okay, you have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Councilmember Burrell?
Aye.
Councilmember Saxton?
Aye.
Councilmember Paul?
Aye.
Councilmember Tafoya?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Wonderful. Well done. Well stated, Travis. Well stated.
Good job, guys. Good job, guys. Good job. Thanks. Thanks for representing. Not bad. Good job. Good job, Coach.
I didn't think I'd see it. Let's get lined up, fellas. Let's line up and get a photo op of you.
Thank you.
And I didn't know if you would follow into the peer pressure. Hey, kind of the same thing. We got to commemorate this. Parents, if you guys want to come closer, come closer.
Okay, if you're in the front, I need you to kneel down.
Just a little bit.
But I need you to scoot back, though.
Yeah.
Or else I can't see you. Okay, everyone look here. 1, 2, 3.
I like it.
One last thing if I could. We have some cookies and punch downstairs for our teams and coaches and staff. You guys all know Lizzie and Jody. They're going to lead you down there. And thank you guys again. Kids, coaches, thank you guys again. You guys were outstanding.
Thanks, Travis. Thank you. Okay, we'll give them a couple of seconds here, just
Yeah.
kind of clear out, then we'll get going.
Hey, that was a good play. That was a good play in the end.
Thank you. Yep, it was fun. All right, anytime. Was it the party bus? I took the big one that's got external speakers. So when we pulled in the parking lot at Lake High, I had it cranked as loud as it would go. And the other team sitting out there just intimidating. Then I dropped them off, and when I left, I drove slow by the other team, just with "We Are the Champions" blaring out. Yeah. And I was playing the song "When."
Yeah. Public comments, right? Public comments?
Hello.
No. I'll tell you. I'll give you the thumbs up.
Okay. Hey, that was wonderful. Thank you. Let's go ahead and we'll indicate to you, we do have Resolution 1832 that talks about the deputy chief positions, but this is going to be a discussion only right now. So, Chief, if you'd like to just talk to us about some of your vision and what you're looking at here, and then we'll we're not going to pass this resolution tonight, but we really like to talk to the chief about it.
Mayor, Council, and Mr. City Manager. What I want to do is restructure the police department. As you know, when I got here, our pay was well below, for the officers, well below what the surrounding area was paying. And that's what I've worked on to try and get, and you guys have come through with colors on that. But what we didn't do was address the deputy chief and chief position as far as pay. As you know, we just lost Deputy Chief Perry. To correct that inadequacy, he was paid about $20,000 under what the going rate is for both of us. But we didn't feel it was right to address our pay when we wanted to get the problem with the department fixed, and we've done that. With that inadequacy in bringing in another deputy chief, if we promoted from within, by policy, that individual can only get a 5% pay increase, which will still leave them $20,000 roughly below what a standard deputy chief would be making in the area. Along with that, before I got here, Chief Elliott gave away a couple of positions. He gave away a couple sergeant's positions and some others from the department. So in order to correct what we have without trying to, I don't feel we can recruit another deputy chief for what we pay now. Okay. But if we bring our 2 lieutenants and promote them to captains, and I'm sure one of your questions is why promote them to do basically the same job. Actually, the job will change significantly. They'll now be writing policy, and they will be representing us through various committees around not just the Weber County, but the state and the legislature. And as anybody familiar with the military knows, police is a paramilitary organization, and what rank is on your collar carries a lot of weight when you get into these meetings. As a lieutenant, they're not respected as much as they would be as a lieutenant. And if they're going to represent the department, we need to promote them to the captain rank so that they will be recognized for the job that they do. By doing that, under policy, they only get a 5% pay increase. We did discuss moving them up to both being deputy chiefs, which is a structure that was, the police department was structured that way before I got here, and then was changed just after I got here. The problem with that is they would actually end up taking a cut in pay because they would only, by policy, they can only get a 5%, but they lose any chance for overtime. Both of them put in extra time. So they would actually take a cut in yearly salary to be promoted to deputy chiefs. So if we move them to the captain position, they get the recognition of being senior leadership. They will get the added responsibilities that will divide up the duties that Deputy Chief Perry did. And then we will also promote an additional sergeant. The money saved by not having a deputy chief at the higher salary, or even a Deputy Chief Perry's salary, gives us a cushion there to where we can promote a 6th sergeant and bring him in to take over our investigations where we have a lieutenant doing that now. The lieutenant will step up and take on some of those deputy chief duties. And by bringing that sergeant in, that allows us to rotate all of our sergeants through an investigations position. As it stands now, once Chief Elliott gave that position away, once they, once they promote, they spend the rest of their career in patrol with rotating shifts. And what we've found, what we feel, what we've heard from people is that's one of the reasons why we don't have more people try to promote within the department is they don't want to spend the rest of their career just working. They'd like a chance to work some other assignments. This will give us that opportunity to rotate that position in. So we will rotate them through detective position every year. Sergeant Hubbard has been a sergeant now for 10 years, and he's worked shift work for the entire 10 years with no hope of getting out of that, where now we can rotate him into a day shift with weekends off, which is always nice once in a while. We expect to work shift work when we become police officers, but it's nice to occasionally get to work a normal shift where you can, see your family. And
it also gives them some admin experience that allows them the next level up. They get some experience, so
Right.
You're building your bench, so when the next position opens up, they're a little more prepared for it.
Right. I think this is our best option at this point. So that's why we're doing it. Wanted to get some input from you folks before we go ahead and finalize everything, but that's the reason for it.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Comments, council, thoughts?
So Chief, the money from the deputy chief is now going to fund the full-time sergeant and be split between the two promoted captains, is that correct?
Yeah, we'll make both lieutenants captains and divide the duties there. They will still stay over, one over patrol, one over investigations, and then take on the duties of policy writing and representing us throughout the various committees that we have people on.
One of the things I've heard from a lot of them said, well, we want a chance for promotion or the opportunity for promotion. So by kind of, how does that work in this program for you?
Well, it gives us one additional sergeant position right now. So there will be a promotion there. We just did a testing process to establish our promotion roster for a 2-year period. So one of them will get promoted right away. And we would still have to have people go through either the lieutenant or the captain position in the future. So it doesn't really change anything other than give us one additional sergeant position that people can promote into.
Okay. So after the sergeants, how many lieutenants will you have?
We won't have any lieutenants. They will just be captains. And like I said, the reason that we're not leaving them as lieutenants is with the captain rank, they're given more respect in these committees and more credence.
And how will you decide who's in charge when you're not here between the two?
Pardon me?
How will you decide who's in charge when you're not here between the two?
We'll split that up. We designate that, alternate. We do that now when we've gone, either one of us have been off or out of town. We still, if one of us was camping, we would still say Kevin or Lieutenant Hammond. One of them would be in charge.
Okay. Other comments, council?
I guess the budget is, do we need to relook at the budget? Do we, help me a little?
Well, I think that's one of the ongoing things that we've been talking about. We wanted to stop the bleeding. When I got here the first year, we lost 1/3 of the department. That's what our concern was to get the officer pay fixed. We can look at this down the road, but that's something that we've talked about with both police and fire.
Also, too, this is kind of, and Carl and I have had conversations. I don't really want to get into the weeds of what each department director wants to do in their own respective departments. They have an overall budget that's X. As long as they stay in X budget, which he's going to do, there doesn't need to be any budget change. It's just him moving positions, changing funding a little bit, but still staying X in his budget.
Yeah, we won't, by doing this, we won't increase our budget at all for salaries. We'll actually, because we're bringing in from the lower end, we'll actually drop our salaries probably by $3,000 to $4,000 a year.
Well, and in the future, it would give you the opportunity, if you decide that you want to kind of tier your organization, maybe drop out 2 sergeants and bring back in 2 lieutenants. if that's something you wanted to do. I mean, if that multi-tier works better for you, but I think it gives you some latitude in the future to, if you grow or expand, there's room to do that.
Yeah, if we were to expand, you know, over the years, we've dropped 2 positions from where we were. We'd love to get those positions back, but this will definitely help with the problem we have with sergeants.
Okay. Other
And
comments?
we're not voting on it tonight?
No. No, the requirement would be is it to make it work,
Job
both the
description,
chief
job
and
salary.
the city manager need to look at position description requirements and salary requirements. I'm sensing pretty optimistic here. I can't guarantee what it will be, chief, when you bring it to the next meeting, but I think if, Jason, if you and the chief can work this,
Yeah.
make sure we're compliant with our policy, then I'd look forward to having this presented back to us, and let's get this done.
So it sounds
Okay.
like the legwork's done. We'll just bring it back with some job description and some salaries for each of those job description. It should
Correct.
be smooth.
Yeah, then the council is required then
Right.
to make approval on that, okay? Thank you, chief. Appreciate that. Okay. I do believe the Blue Line ladies' presentation's been postponed, so we'll reschedule that for another later date. This is public comment period. If you have something you'd like to share with us, please step up to the mic. Just give us your name and address and give us your thoughts, and we'll ask for public input. Okay? So he gave you the thumbs up, so there you go.
My
Welcome
name
back.
is Bree Christofferson. I live at, what is my address? 4424 West, 5950 South in Hooper, Utah. I'm here because I have set up a partnership with Roy City and the Ogden Weaver Community Action Partnership for their Giving Tree program. So we have a tree set up at the Parks and Rec building this year until December 14th. There's just little ornament tags on the tree for people to come, and it just has basic information about a boy or girl and then their age range and some ideas of gifts or clothing items that can be donated. This year we have approximately 3,500 kids who are needing items for Christmas, and so all the donated items can just be taken there, and then we will take them to Ogden Weaver. And on the 15th, the families get to come and go shopping, essentially, for their kids, so that they can provide for their kids and that they can get gifts this season.
Okay, perfect.
So Bree, do the gifts go to one specific child, or is it just a list of things that are needed?
It's just generalization. So they're just little cards that say like little boy or little girl, and then the age range and approximate sizes for clothing, because they've had issues in the past where parents would get the gifts and they'd be wrapped already, and then come Christmas morning, the parents have no idea what their kids are even getting. So this way the parents are able to essentially go shopping.
Okay.
So they just set out everything that's donated in a big warehouse setting, and then the parents they're told how many items they can grab for their children, and then they're able to give those gifts.
And can you tell me approximately how many tags are on our giving tree on the
I
Parks
think
and Rec?
ours has about 100 ornaments on them. And
Okay.
then if we do get a lot of donations, I can always get more ornaments and put them on the tree as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any other comments? Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on. City manager's report?
Okay, just a few things. Wanted to say thanks for last night's tree lighting ceremony. It went great. It was well attended. It seems like all of Roy City events are well attended, which I really like to see. The trunk or treat was well attended. We had a line going down 1900 West, and the rededication for George Wall and North Park was excellent. So thanks to everybody that participated, had a part in the program, and had a part in setting it up. They did a great job. Tomorrow, if your schedule allows, the fire department is feeding the seniors over here their Thanksgiving dinner at 11:30. If you're around and you can help serve, all the food's already done. We're just gonna help pass it out and then probably just clean up. So that's tomorrow at 11:30. December 5th is our second annual kind of state of the city employees meeting on December 5th. You guys remember that last year? We had this last year. All the employees will be there. I've got the program set. So if you could make it, that would be awesome. I believe at the last one, I think we had some of you guys come up on stage that were just nominated to the new council and introduced everybody. So if you can make it December 5th, that'd be great.
Is that at Roy High?
Uh-huh.
in
Yep,
time?
Roy High School, 6 o'clock at the little theater room. While you get your pens sharpened and writing dates down, mark December 19th at 6 p.m. That's the Christmas dinner for the City Council, Planning Commission, and Department Directors. So on the annexation, talking with Director Andrews and his assistants, anybody involved in the annexation, remember they were going to come in and sign up for utilities before the first of the year. We were going to waive their utility fee, and they can just sign up at any time they could come in. Well, on December 11th, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., we're going to extend our hours for those that maybe are working late, can't come in at 5 because then we close. So we have emailed those. I think, Glenda, we emailed you too that information. And yeah, and then we're going to put it. Okay, we'll post that on Facebook. I told Morgan to post it on our website. So just to get the info out for those on December 11th. The audit is, the reason you really don't have the audit in front of you yet is because this is the first year that this Wiggins and Audit Company is doing the audit, which means they got to manually feed all the numbers into their new system, which takes a little bit of time. Next year it'll auto-populate as they put it in, but everything was fine. We're just kind of waiting for them to get all their numbers and tallies together, and then them and our finance director will present it for you. So last week we had the one police car that was totaled on the freeway. Unfortunately, and this is just the bad luck of it, is the driver that hit the police car that totaled it was a DUI, has no insurance, and basically we have to eat a car. So we're gonna have to get a car and replace it. Matt and I will find probably some funds. We'll probably just use some of the fire department's funds to find that, but we can get that done.
I was gonna say, where's Jeff?
That was the joke. Yeah. Okay. So, just tease another fire department.
Jason, I got a question. When
Yeah.
you eat a car, don't we have insurance that would cover it if we don't?
Nope, because the vehicles are under $50,000. It requires a separate, most municipalities don't cover things less than 50,000. We just do it out of the budget, because it's just a small ticket item. I did actually talk to our insurance company, and Darren's gonna look for an umbrella policy about $7,500 a year that would add to it, that would cover the small miscellaneous items. It's just unfortunate that the driver that hits the car is uninsured, and I mean it's hard to plan for, but
I think the best part about that is our officer was not in that vehicle and came out of this unscathed. So that's the best part. But replacing that vehicle, I'm sure we need to do that. But it's just good that the officer was okay.
Yep. And then just a follow up last night, the structure fire where the family of 11 was safe, and the 4-year-old toddler was in there when our fire department pulled them out. I went over to that apartment complex, and it was complete devastation, and we are extremely lucky that everybody got out of that house safe and that the police and fire worked really well hand in hand. So I'd really like to say thanks to our public safety team, where no Roy resident lost their life, and we really do have an awesome public safety team, and not a lot of, and I can say this because I've been involved in public safety for so long, but I look at Roy and I look at the relationship that our police and fire have, and it's unmatched by any other municipality. We really do get along good. We may joke with each other and give each other a hard time, but when it really comes down to it and the boots are on the ground and things have to get done, our public safety team gets the job done. And every bit worth what we have to do for them, so just tell them thanks. I don't have anything else unless you guys have something for me. I'm looking at my notes.
Council, comments?
I have a question.
Please.
Unrelated, but related. Do we have a count, a running tally on those people that have opted out of the recycling?
Yeah, so Matt and I talked a little bit about that today. He's got like, was it 10 pages, 11 pages, and there's about 10. Yeah, so we're about 60 people that have opted out. So
60 residents?
Yep. So there's quite a few opting out.
But let's make sure we understand, the going in agreement would be is we can probably maintain the same rate if we don't get below 50%. Is that still the plan?
So we're pretty far off that mark.
Okay. So I think to your point, this was the whole purpose, get the word out, let them make a choice, and they've made a choice. But it should not impact at least the going in rate right now because we didn't drop below the minimum. And I think that's the good news here.
It is.
Okay.
I was just curious.
Okay. Council, any other comments? Anything you want to report? Okay, let me just make a comment if I can. And Jason, I appreciate your comments. The tree lighting ceremony yesterday was wonderful. A lot of participation. Trunk or treat, I'm still working through the pain. We were out there for hours. We had so many people. It was great. The kids had a great time. The only thing I will indicate to you, in all fairness to that conversation, is I think we may have put a little burden on our neighbors close to the municipality building because when they left us, they kind of saturated the area around here and they collected a lot. And we've heard comments coming back that simply says many residents had to go out and buy more candy or just shut the light off. So it was quite an infusion. However, we also got word from other residents in the area that simply says they didn't hardly get any. And they were a little disappointed that Roy City basically stole their children, okay? But it is what it is. But what a great event that was and had a lot of fun. And if I can just make one last comment, and Chief, I'll speak to the police. I'm telling you, it was incredible what you all did last night. And surely the fire department, if Jeff was here, I'd say it to him as well. But 11 people, okay, were saved last night, in large part by your team. And so let that not go unnoticed, okay? I don't know what you want to do, Jason, but I'm just telling you, that don't let that go unnoticed because that was incredible. And the sacrifice that both the police officers who arrived on scene first and the fire department who had to go into that smoke building and recover that child, that was incredible, okay? Incredible effort, so well done. Anything else, council? Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Do I have a second? Okay,
Second.
thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you for joining us tonight. I believe some of you may have some things you need to have signed. If you do, please bring them up. We'll sign the papers.